How often have you delivered on all the requirements only to discover the solution still doesn't hit the mark? That's because business needs, customer behaviors, and even the market itself can shift while we're building. The old way, which was gathering everything up front, locking it down and handing it over, just doesn't cut it anymore. And neither does it chopping it into small bits and going back and refining it as an agile. So today we're going to explore continuous discovery, the practice of keeping discovery alive through the entire project or product lifecycle. This approach isn't about doing more work. It's about doing smarter work, staying connected to the real world, testing assumptions, and delivering value that truly sticks.
The Better Business Analysis Institute
presents the Better Business Analyst Podcast with
Benjamin Walsh.
Welcome back, everyone. That's right. We're going to be talking about continuous discovery. And yes, it falls into category of continuous delivery and continuous integration. And this naturally fits in from the BA and product management lens. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly what continuous discovery looks like and why it matters for your career as a BA. The first point that I want to focus on when we talk about continuous delivery, as we know, be that an agile delivery team or a waterfall team or what I would just call a traditional enterprise team, you are doing the discovery up front and it stops too early. Continuous discovery helps keep us closer to the real needs and it reduces waste and builds real value. And continuous delivery in simple terms is about continuously engaging with stakeholders, customers, and data throughout the delivery lifecycle, not just up front. Now, there's a spectrum here. Agile delivery says go back to your product owner. The product owner will be able to work out if the business needs have changed and they will work with you on what is the priority, right? So it's a bit of a, if you like, a bit of a bottom-up approach in terms of the fact that the agile team is waiting for work and they're really driving the agile machine. But continuous discovery is more of a product management discipline in terms of if you think about who is driving it. And it's the fact that it's the market. It's actually taking it one step further from agile and talking about the fact that you need to discover, go out to the market and rediscover and continuously discover what people need. So think about it as you're moving from a one-time workshop to maybe a weekly conversation with your market, not just your stakeholders, which you might be doing today with Agile. And if you are, that is the first step. And it matters because there's an increasing pace of change out there. And we know that requirements age quickly. Agile was there to solve that problem. But what it didn't solve was that the products are never done and they evolve. And what our customer needs are and the jobs that they want getting done and what our competition's doing also changes. So it's not enough to just have that internal look. You need to look externally, which is what the strategic analysis is all about. Leadership want to see faster, return on investments. They want, the money back faster. And so therefore they want customer dollars coming through. They want the idea of using continuous discovery to reduce wasted investment at every point. Now, so that's the important bit. With Agile, you can release a product, you can get instant feedback. That's fantastic, but it assumes that that the product and all the assumptions and the direction you're going in hasn't actually changed. You've got a product roadmap, right? But this is actually re-looking at your product roadmap in a proper sense. So it ties to, BA growth because continuous discovery positions the BA as strategic advisors, not just scribes again. And this is really important because it's not really, I would say, the strength of an agilist who's really about delivery, which is fantastic. And they They understand these concepts and they could move there, but I think it provides a position on the chessboard for a BA to be more of an attacking as opposed to a defensive move. And in that analogy, what I'm trying to say is we can go up front, right? And with the evolution of AI, BAs can actually get market analysis done way quicker. So can product managers. So this is kind of a domain that they both might be looking at, but a product manager won't be looking across processes. So that's where the BA can step up and start doing these things. Now, how you can practice this is that you need to have customer conversations, right, on repeat. Regular touch points with end users is what my notes say. I'm disagreeing with myself. This is really around the end customer having a voice, because that is where the value is here. You might have fortnightly customer interviews for a banking app. That's a product situation. You might have regular conversation with people who use your services. That would be a process conversation. You're going to integrate what we call hypothesis-driven requirements. Some great resources in the product management world. Alex Cohen is a really good guy to look up. You frame requirements as assumptions, right? Because that's what your team might be doing. That might be where the kind of oil in the machine might go. So your team might get some agile requirements, and then you could test them as assumptions, not as truths. And then you can say, we believe that X will help Y and achieve Z. And we all know it's right when X happens. This is a really good hypothesis-driven requirement approach. And then what you do is you rapidly go out to the customer. This is external. You don't wait for full specs. You test with wireframes and mock-ups and low-code prototypes, which are really easy to do now. And so another skill that BA should learn, which I'll talk about next week. You might have a click-through demo and you test it with 10 actual customers before a line of code is written, or you've actually written the detailed technical requirements. BAs can actually monitor adoption, usage, and value delivery across the product and process life cycles. And you can build KPIs into your acceptance criteria. That's a tip. You're actually collaborating with product owners and product managers, and you're shifting from project scope to product value. And a lot of product owners don't understand that side of it because they're not business, they're really product focused. Continuous discovery blurs the line between a BA and some product roles. It does. And that's actually a good thing, because this is usually missed. Take a retail company and it's launching a new e-commerce feature. Instead of one big requirement phase, the BA sets up weekly discovery with the customer services team that is feeding in real insights from customers that they've spoken to. And they might really find that there's friction in the checkout area, and they're going to fix that area, and then that's the feature they're going to focus on. That takes priority, and conversions jump. So continuous discovery is about hearing from the customer, not from the product owner, okay, agile, directly from the customer's voice, using mechanisms that the BA will know about, processes of input, touch points. And then suddenly, it's smart work. You're missing out a whole lot of ceremonies, a whole lot of drama and prioritization and backlog refinement. You're getting to really what the customer really wants. So if you make discovery habitual, not a one-off, and you treat those requirements as actually living, proactive triggers, stay curious and ask the right questions and ask more questions, and you partner with UX, right, and your product managers, you will be able to continuously discover your way to actually adding customer value, which a lot of BAs don't see every day. Continuous discovery keeps us aligned with reality, not assumptions. For BAs, it's the bridge from a tactical analyst to a strategic advisor, which is where BAs need to go. If this resonates with you, share this episode with fellow BAs who are stuck in the old school requirements or just agile mode. Together, let's raise the bar for our profession and start talking about continuous discovery led by BAs.